He could not have been more generous with his time, his passion, his retweets for his remarkable and regramming of his incredible social media footprint. We all thought he would run the fastest out of all the NFL legends for the 2021 Run Rich Run. And he did. And I knew that people would be talking about that after the run, and they are. He is Michael Vick here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Rich. How about yourself?
I couldn't be more thrilled at how you ran and your generosity with your time to come all the way out to Los Angeles and to give it your all, to give your time and hamstrings to St. Jude, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely gave a hamstring to St. Jude, but like I said, and I reiterated, it was for a good cause. And yes, Rich, everybody and I who was there knew that I would run the fastest time. It's just that I thought I would run faster. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
and look,
yeah,
I want to say this to the people because I'm proud about it. I'm proud about, one, it was a successful event, and we was able to raise that money, and it was amazing. Two, everybody put the time and effort into it, man, and three, I really wanted to run a 4 or 5 for the people. But next year, I'm going to train, and hopefully you'll invite me back, man, and I'll be more than glad to come back.
No doubt. So at what point in this run did your hammy give way, Michael?
It was I think I had maybe 15 yards left. You know what happened, Rich? I'm running, and the first 20 yards I got out. Even Chris Carter was behind me. He was like, "Oh, Mike, you was getting it." and I was on to something, and I felt good. And then I felt that it's like when a tire go flat. When you riding on the road, you just hear that doom doom. You hear that thump, and I felt that thump, which I've known all too well over my years.
Yes.
And it was about halfway in. That last 10 yards really count in terms of just kind of like leaning in and finishing strong. But I learned the lesson, man. And you know what, man? I couldn't have been with a better group. It couldn't have happened at a better time. Even to pull my hamstring, when I think about it as I limp around the house, man, out here in Florida, I'm like, man, I did it for all the right reasons.
Yes, you did, Michael. And you ran with Andy Dunn, the donor who, along with 7 others, gave over $1 million for the chance to run with you and the rest of the NFL legends. And, Chris Carter ran really well. I mean, he really ran very well. Like, he had a shot to break 5 seconds, just like you. Big time.
Ironically, Chris was one of the guys who was saying the whole time, Mike, you know what, man? I'm just going to coast. I'm not going to run too hard. I'm going to make sure. And as soon as he get down on that line, his competitive juices started flowing, and Chris looked really good running the run. I thought Ray ran well. Didn't know what I was going to get from Jerry, but he's the GOAT. 40 won't matter with him, but guys really did put their all into it, and that was really exciting to see.
Michael Vick here on the Rich Eisen Show, and there's just the camaraderie amongst the legends, and then, of course, the legends and donors, but just seeing the 8 NFL legends out there just on a field and seeing the competitive juices get going, and then you having an opportunity saying, I wanted to throw a pass to Jerry Rice, and then you did. It was so cool.
That was amazing. That was so cool. Like, one of my coolest moments that I'll definitely be able to share with my kids. And, I grew up idolizing Jerry Rice. I was a big-time 49ers fan and loved Steve Young and Jerry and that whole connection, and Jerry to Montana, and, always follow his career, even after San Francisco, even though I was a little distraught, but at the same time, always remained a huge Jerry Rice fan. So thanks for making that happen, too, because being in that arena, I was able to ask him, Jerry, let me get one, and he gave me 2.
We only got video of 1, but it was a slant. That was a great. Yeah. You threw a dart, Mike.
Well, actually, I thought he would want to run a go route or something.
Right.
I told him, give me something that he gave everybody else. Mm-hmm. What really worked out there, Jerry? He was like, a slant. I'm like, bruh, that's so old school. Like, that's like the first concept pass play that was put into the West Coast system. But he ran it to perfection still at the age of whatever he is. I won't say, but man. it was really cool to throw a pass to Jerry Rice.
The whole thing was great. And then again, the camaraderie, like I said, just seeing the night before when we all got together to talk about the event, Ray and Rod Woodson just swapping stories about their Super Bowl year together.
Oh,
My favorite story, though, Mike, was the one you told about Ray and him. Please tell everyone this story right here on the Rich Eisen Show, Michael Vick. Go for it.
Well, just in a short, I've only been afraid to play against one player in all my years of football. And that one player was Ray Lewis. And every year we played against Ray when I was with the Falcons or the Eagles, either Ray was hurt or I was hurt. Every time the Ravens and whatever team I was playing for clashed. And this particular day, 2012, week 2, it was Ravens versus Eagles, and I was out on the field present, and Ray was present. And Ray was a little older then. He was like 37 years old, and I think I was 32. And I just wasn't afraid no more. I'm like, he not really looking the same, the physique, but he still got it. He's still Ray Lewis. He's still a presence. And they made Shady McCoy fumble, and Ray picked it up, and he thought he was home, sweet home. He thought he had a straight shot to the end zone, Rich. And I ran him down. He didn't see me coming. And I tell you, when I say I superpower body slam Ray Lewis, that was the best tackle I ever made in my life. And I only got about 6. And one of them was on Ray. And when I tossed him, I think I threw him like 6 yards out of bounds. Found out a lot about myself too. All the hard work in the weight room paid off.
That's amazing.
That is so great. But Ray, it's funny about Ray, certainly when you're around him in an environment like this, and he's kind of chill, but, having fun and everything like that. But he did say to everybody, and this is the thing that I was so happy about the run with the NFL Legends, Michael Vick, is that everyone's like, well, let's do this again. We'll train. We'll do it. He looked at me and he goes, you have to train too, And I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, I realize what you're talking about, the intimidation factor. He looked at me like his demeanor changed. He goes, you have to train too. I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. The utmost respect for Ray Lewis. And the one thing I will say, a lot of those legends and the guys who ran, even the entrepreneurs, I just spoke to Andy Dunn a couple of days ago.
Cool.
Everybody was like, we're going to train next year. So it's going to be a super cool event. And just give people more to look forward to, man. And definitely an honor to be working alongside of you, Rich, and what we was able to do for St. Jude.
Well, I mean, we've got the names up here. You ran with Andy Dunn, Mark Laurie, Brett Adcock, Jason Robbins, Nate Faust, Vinit Barara, Jenny Fleiss. I mean, and then also we had Michael Robbins donate as well. Put them all together. Michael Rubin, pardon me, put it all together, and it was an incredible haul. But when you put 8 NFL legends and 8 type A business people on the field, there was a certain competitive juice flowing. And then it was a day where there's music blaring inside of SoFi Stadium at Hollywood Park because Rams season ticket holders were there. It felt exciting, and I can't thank
great atmosphere.
I can't thank you enough for doing it, Michael. Really appreciate that.
And the one thing I will do in closing,
yes, sir,
I will listen to my wife because she told me 2 months back, if you don't train, you're going to blow out your hamstring. Mm-hmm. And it happened. She was the only person I was thinking about when it happened. I was like, man, I got to start listening to my wife more. So another lesson learned, and it was a big-time lesson that came out of that. So thanks again, Rick.
No, I feel the same way. Hey, Michael, but before I let you go, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about Aaron Rodgers and what's going on with the Packers and what you think is going through his brain with his endgame scenario and – your colleague at Fox Sports and Terry Bradshaw saying, I don't know if you're aware of this, he said today that it shows Aaron to be weak, that he is concerned about a kid and Jordan Love. I'm wondering, put it all together, your 2 cents, and what is going on with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, Michael?
Yeah, well, I think Aaron Rodgers has a right to feel what he's feeling. I've always been a guy when, backups was drafted twice in my career, but only to be drafted in the 3rd round. I kind of looked at it as a threat, and not only as a threat to me, and I took it as a positive to to work harder and be even better is just another thing that exists that you have to deal with, and that's the media, always asking you about this guy and always inquiring about him and knowing that the organization is really leaning towards this kid at some point in the future, which is something that we can't control. It's the inevitable. But Aaron has done a lot, and I think in terms of, how business has been handled, it may have not always been the most accurate. Who knows? We're not in those rooms or, we're not a part of those conversations. But he has the right to feel what he's feeling as a quarterback, and it's just hard to play ball in the National Football League, especially quarterback, on all levels. And when you add a bunch of different extra pressures to that, it can lead to frustration, and I think that's what Aaron's dealing with. And, he's going to take a page out of the Tom Brady book and probably vet out the best opportunity. But in the end, sometimes in the grand scheme of things, change is good. And I think Aaron Rodgers has a chance to create some change. And the Green Bay Packers are in a great position still. You just don't have Aaron Rodgers. You got the guy you wanted, and you got the guy you like, in Jordan Love. And you still have a chance. Most importantly, Rich, I'll say this. Most importantly, they still have a chance to win the NFC North. Like, come on. I mean, you got Chicago, you got Minnesota, you got Detroit. So it's always a chance, and I think Aaron Rodgers left this team, in a better situation than when he started. So that's something he can hang his hat on, but I look forward to seeing what happens with him in the future.
Yeah, because you say change is good. I just also think that when it comes down to it, the best chance in place for him to win is staying in Green Bay. The question,
obviously, yes.
But I mean, if he's not going to sit idly by and wait for the tap to come on the shoulder when he has some sort of leverage right now to get what he wants, either to stay there or get where he wants to go. Now, so I can kind of understand what he is in fact doing.
I understand. And then you look at teams like, I'll just name one. Look at the Washington Redskins. I mean, they got defense. They got better in the offseason. They got Ron Rivera. They got defense. They got weapons. They got a run game. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd be eyeing the Washington football team. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yep.
I'll be eyeing the Washington football team for sure.
Interesting. Michael, thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. And thanks again for your generosity, your time, your hamstrings, and let's do it again. That was really great. As you know, everybody was talking about doing it again and making it bigger. I'm thrilled to hear that you and Andy Dunn are already talking about that. That's great to hear. And let's run it. Let's literally, figuratively run it back. Let's do it.
Let's run it back, baby.
Thanks, Michael.
Right,
appreciate the time. You got it. That's Fox Sports' Michael Vick, 4-time Pro Bowler and 4.72 runner with half a hamstring at age 40, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.